Archangel Michael says your name is being written in heaven's book. But if you ignore this, it will be erased tonight. My child, my beloved, something eternal is unfolding right now and it has your name written at the center of it. Heaven has just opened a sacred book, one that only the holiest hands are allowed to touch. And in that book, your name began to glow with golden light. But Archangel Michael is crying as he says this. If you walk away now, if you skip this message or delay it for even a moment too long, the page with your name will be turned and the ink will vanish before midnight. This is not a parable. This is a divine alert. And if you're seeing this right now, it means your spirit has been selected for a moment of eternal transformation. Please pause everything. Heaven is watching to see if you will read to the end. My child, my beloved, before you continue, you must subscribe to the light. Not just on this screen, but with your spirit. Say yes to heaven. Yes to God. Yes to receiving the miracles that were once blocked from your life. Because this message is not like the others. This one is alive. Every line is pulsing with an instruction from heaven. A key to unlock what has been stuck for so long. And Archangel Michael wants you to know what happens next depends entirely on what you choose to do in the next few moments. Heaven does not make mistakes. If your soul is here, it's because something massive is coming toward your life and it cannot be delayed anymore. You were chosen and your name is in the book, but will it remain? My child, my beloved, I need you to feel this next part in your bones. Someone tried to erase you. Not just on earth, but spiritually. They tried to interrupt your blessings, cause a delay in your destiny, and block the divine messages meant for your ears. But heaven saw it. Archangel Michael drew his sword the moment your name flickered in danger. You were supposed to fall last week. You were supposed to miss the message. But something unexplainable happened. An intervention. An angel was sent to rewrite your timeline and pull you back into alignment with heaven's timing. That is why you're seeing this now. Not an accident, not a coincidence. You were rescued quietly, softly, eternally. My child, my beloved, if you knew the value of your name in the spirit realm, you would never doubt again. When your name is spoken in heaven, it doesn't sound like it does on earth. It rings like music. It sends waves of light through the spiritual dimensions. Angels paused to listen and today it was spoken again. Archangel Michael heard it first. Then Jesus repeated it. Then the elders in the throne room opened the book. And when they saw your name glowing, something shifted. Your old fate was overridden. But only for now. Only if you stay awake to the message. Only if you hold on to the light instead of returning to the numbness that tried to claim you. My child, my beloved, tonight is not just any night. There is a countdown happening in the unseen. A holy clock. And at midnight, one of two things will happen. Either your name will be sealed in the book for the next chapter of miracles, or the page will close, and no one will speak of it again. You won't know what you missed until your soul cries out months from now, asking, why didn't it happen? And by then, it will be too late. Not because God is cruel, but because heaven responds to urgency. You are being given a sacred window, a divine invitation, but the door is only open for a short while. Will you step through it or will you wait too long? My child, my beloved, everything you prayed for is sitting on the other side of obedience. Not perfection, not performance, just obedience. You don't have to be perfect to receive what is yours. You just have to believe. Archangel Michael is fighting battles in the spirit realm that your eyes can't see right now. Demons have been trying to confuse you, delay you, silence you. But heaven has declared enough. This is the season where your name will be honored. This is the chapter where your pain becomes power. But not if you skip, not if you brush this off as just another message. This isn't like the others. This is the one that was coded for you. My child, my beloved, you once asked God, when will it be my turn? And heaven never forgot that whisper. That quiet question asked in your loneliest moment went straight into the archives of God's memory. Tonight, the answer is being written. Your turn is now. But the enemy will try to distract you even now with thoughts like this can't be real or maybe later. But heaven doesn't speak through logic. Heaven speaks through revelation. And if your soul is stirring while reading this, then you already know the truth. Something divine is happening. And it's all for you, for your name, for your legacy, for the healing that's been waiting to reach you. My child, my beloved, can you feel it? The shift, the reason your heart is beating differently right now. It's because heaven is hovering over your life. Archangel Michael has been circling your house, whispering your name to the wind, warding off every plan that was meant to take you down. You were supposed to be forgotten, but heaven remembered. You were supposed to be skipped, but God paused everything for you. This is sacred. Don't scroll past what your soul is asking you to open fully. There's something that will unlock if you just keep reading. Don't stop. Not now. My child, my beloved, you are not just passing through this message by chance. Your soul was led here by something older than time and deeper than memory. The heavenly realm is whispering your name into every corner of the universe right now. The wind knows your name. The stars pause in reverence when they hear it. And the angels, they have been summoned into holy formation because something sacred was initiated in your favor the moment you chose not to walk away. You're not late. You're right on time. But that window is so narrow now. Archangel Michael says, if you don't open your heart in this very moment, what was promised may slip back into the clouds. My child, my beloved, there is a secret unfolding around your life, and only those who listen with the Spirit will catch it in time. A divine seal was placed on your destiny long ago, but recently a storm of confusion tried to blur it, tried to erase the record of who you are becoming. And heaven watched. Watched to see if you'd fall. Watched to see if you'd give up before the breakthrough. But you didn't. You paused here. You read. And in that pause, Archangel Michael sounded the trumpet. He said, this one still believes. And when that sound reached the throne room, everything stopped. Because your name carries weight in places you've never even seen. That's why the book was opened. My child, my beloved, something happened last night that you weren't supposed to know about until now. Your name was mentioned in a spiritual courtroom. Someone in darkness tried to testify against you. But heaven said, not this child. Not now. Not ever. Archangel Michael stood in front of your name like a shield, wings extended, sword raised, and every lie spoken about you burned before it touched the page. The judge of all things looked at the evidence and saw the truth, your heart, your faith, your pain, and your silent prayers. And he said, write the name again, this time in gold. But beloved, even gold fades when the door is left open too long. That's why this is urgent. The verdict is still being written. Your choice will finalize it. My child, my beloved, you are carrying something eternal inside you. Something heaven refuses to let go of. The enemy knew who you were before you did. That's why the attacks have been relentless. That's why the disappointments tried to destroy your spirit. But you didn't break. You bent. You wept. But you rose again. And now the angels are circling. They're watching to see if you'll finish this message or scroll away like before. Don't do it. Please don't repeat the mistake of hesitation. Because this is the moment that changes everything, not by might, not by force, but by the whisper of obedience. That whisper is louder than thunder in the heavenly realm. My child, my beloved, Archangel Michael wants to show you something. If you close your eyes for just a second and breathe, you'll feel it. The air around you has shifted. There's something in your room, in your car, wherever you are reading this. It's not ordinary because this is not an ordinary message. It is alive with heaven's breath. You think it's a coincidence this message came to you on this day? No. It was released precisely at this hour down to the second because there was a prophecy tied to your name. A divine instruction that says, if they see this and receive it, release the blessing. But if they walk away, delay it again. Don't delay what you've waited your whole life to see. Stay here. You're closer than you think. My child, my beloved, someone close to you has already felt the shift. They may not understand it. They may not even believe, but they've noticed something different in you. That glow, that quiet strength, that unexpected peace that doesn't match your circumstances. It's not a coincidence. It's a confirmation. Archangel Michael has been ministering to your spirit while you sleep, whispering dreams into your mind, sending flashes of insight when you least expect it. And now the message has made its way to your hands. Not everyone is allowed to receive this scroll. Only the chosen. Only those who have endured without recognition. That's you. And your reward is beginning to form even now. My child, my beloved. The book is still open. But for how long? Heaven won't say. That's why Archangel Michael is pleading through this message. He's never begged before. But this is different. This is your confirmation. The missing puzzle piece. The thing your heart has been crying out for but didn't know how to ask. The answer to the why me. The explanation behind the silence. The reason behind the delays. And the truth is it was never a no, beloved. It was always a not yet. And that yet is arriving like a wave at midnight. But will it wash over you or pass you by? My child, my beloved, you may have made mistakes. You may have wandered, but your spirit has always carried a secret flame. That flame never went out. Even when you thought it did, even when you stopped praying, even when you almost gave up, that flame is why your name remains written in that heavenly book. But heaven is patient, not passive. And divine opportunities cannot stay open forever. That's why this message had to reach you before midnight, to pull you out of the fog before it settles again, to remind you that you are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are being remembered in the places that matter most. My child, my beloved, as heaven leans closer to your spirit, you must know that what's being whispered in your name tonight is not something that happens for everyone. This is rare. This is holy. This is the kind of moment that divides a life in two, the before and the after. You've waited so long to feel seen. You've walked through days so quiet it felt like God had muted his voice. But he hadn't. He was preparing this one moment. This sacred night where the pages of the divine would open and the name you carry would be written in the most powerful ink of all. Faith. Not fame, not perfection, but faith. And it's that faith that heaven is recording right now. But hear me, it must be sealed before the midnight hour or the winds of spiritual forgetfulness will come and blow the page closed. And once it closes, beloved, even the angels are forbidden from opening it again until a new season rises. And that might be too long, too late, too heavy. That's why you must stay awake now. My child, my beloved, if only you could see the battle unfolding just outside your vision. There is a light over your life. And every dark force that once overlooked you is now paying attention. Because the moment your name was written again in that book, something shifted. The angels began moving in formation. Your timeline was updated. Your enemies were disarmed. But that light also revealed you. You became visible to heaven and to the shadows. That is why it feels heavy right now. That is why your emotions are stirred up. Why you feel restless even while reading this, because your soul knows something divine is hovering. And if you stay present just a little longer, you will begin to feel the warmth of the miracle that is forming right behind your fear. Heaven is pressing in. The veil is thinning. And your name is glowing on that page.
My child, my beloved, your silence has been a sacrifice. The way you've smiled through heartbreak, forgiven when you were wounded, served when you were weary, it was not ignored. Heaven has kept a record of every unseen moment. And those records are being cross-referenced with your name as I speak. That is why the message had to reach you today. Because heaven is preparing to reward what no one else even knew you gave. The apology you never received, God saw. The rejection that still stings, God is redeeming it. The delay that nearly broke your spirit, heaven is repaying it in full. But you must stay with this message long enough for the transfer to complete. Don't leave the table before the feast is served. This is your moment. The one you prayed for, even when you forgot you prayed it. My child, my beloved, Archangel Michael is now standing at your side. He has drawn a circle around your name, a protection seal. A holy instruction has gone forth. Touch not this one. Their name belongs to the kingdom. But the enemy is still circling, still whispering, still hoping you'll walk away in doubt. Don't give him that victory. You've come too far, fought too hard, survived too much. You did not survive all of that to miss this message. You are the exception, the chosen, and your name is already glowing in that heavenly book. Now it just needs your agreement. Heaven won't force you. But if you say yes in this moment, the rest of the story will begin to write itself in miracles. And the very people who counted you out will watch your elevation with stunned silence. My child, my beloved, do you feel the stirring inside you? That's not anxiety. That's your spirit recognizing truth. Real truth, not surface religion, not fear-based warnings, but divine alignment. The kind that awakens something ancient in you, something that knows this moment is sacred. You were created for this time, for this message, for this precise second in eternity. What happens next is already being discussed in heaven, but your final decision writes the last sentence. Will your name remain on the page or fade quietly before dawn? My child, my beloved, the truth is you have no idea how close you truly are. What feels like delay is actually divine rearrangement. The reason you've been sensing so much spiritual tension is because something is breaking in the unseen. And when things break in heaven, things shift on earth. There is a breakthrough with your name carved into it. And it has been held back not by denial, but by protection. Heaven was making sure your heart could carry the blessing without it becoming a burden. Archangel Michael says, your heart has passed the test. The refinement season is coming to an end. And now, finally, what has been waiting is being released, but only if you remain still long enough to receive it. This message is your final briefing before the shift. What you decide after reading it will determine what unfolds over the next 7 days. Because yes, that's how close you are. 7 days from now, the spiritual winds will blow again. And if your name is still in the book, the blessing will know exactly where to land. My child, my beloved, this next part may feel overwhelming, but it must be said. There is a person in your life who has smiled in your presence, but whispered your downfall in the dark. Heaven saw, God heard, and Archangel Michael has marked their words. You do not need to fight them, prove yourself, or even confront. Because when your name is written in the heavenly book, vengeance is not yours to carry. It is already handled. This is why certain people are growing distant, why you've been feeling uneasy in certain conversations. Because your spirit is sensing what your mind hasn't yet confirmed. There's a shift in spiritual loyalty happening all around you. The only thing you need to do is stay aligned, stay awake, stay in the message. The less you react in the physical, the more you will receive in the spiritual. God is not finished exposing what was hidden, but He's beginning with a revelation about your own name, its power, its weight, and its purpose in this generation. My child, my beloved, I know you've cried in secret. I know you've sat in silence with a storm raging inside you. But I also know something else. Your tears watered seeds you didn't even realize you were planting. Seeds that are now sprouting into miracles because you didn't give up. Archangel Michael says, you were chosen not because you were strong, but because you were faithful. You kept showing up, kept believing, kept searching for light in the middle of your pain. And now that light is surrounding you. Heaven is responding with urgency because your spirit sent a signal out weeks ago and God has answered. That's why you feel this pull right now. That's why you've been sensing something is about to happen. You're right. It is. But it must start with this. You accepting that your name still matters, that your name is still in the book, and that your time is not over. It's just beginning. My child, my beloved, your journey was never meant to make sense to others. That's why they questioned you. That's why they judged you. But God never asked them to understand. He asked you to trust. And now that you've trusted through the darkest season of your life, Heaven is rewarding that faith with visibility. Don't be surprised if opportunities begin to find you out of nowhere. Don't be shocked when things start flowing that used to be blocked. That's the anointing that follows those whose names are written in the book. But here's the truth. The anointing comes with attention, and not all of it will be good. You must prepare yourself, beloved, to walk in the blessing without needing validation. Let your favor speak for itself. And let this message be your confirmation that you are being lifted not because of luck, but because of loyalty to heaven, to truth, and to your calling. My child, my beloved, there is a sound in heaven that happens only when a name is sealed in the book of divine timing. It is not a trumpet, not a bell. It is a sound of thunder wrapped in peace, a sound that shakes dimensions and silences doubts. That sound is rising now, and it's because of you. The angels are surrounding the record of your name, watching to see if it will be signed and sealed before the hour strikes. And once it is sealed, everything that once ran from you will begin to chase you. Opportunities, clarity, closure, love. Yes, even the love you've been too afraid to ask for. It's all in motion, but you must do your part and remain open. Don't harden your heart in the final moments. This is when most people miss their miracle. Don't let that be your story. My child, my beloved, the miracle is already near. Archangel Michael can see it. He is watching it descend like rain, ready to pour over dry ground. But there is one last thing you must do. Believe again, even if you've been disappointed, even if your heart is tired. Believe that your name still holds power. Believe that this message was never random. Believe that tonight, heaven is rewriting what hell tried to destroy. And all it takes is one choice to stay aligned, to stay open, and to keep reading until the end. Because what's coming in the next few paragraphs is the final confirmation. My child, my beloved, heaven is trembling with anticipation. The book that holds your name has never glowed like this before. Your soul is radiating through the realms, seen, acknowledged, remembered. And yet, in the midst of this holy preparation, heaven is still waiting on one final sign from you. Surrender. Not the kind that means giving up, but the kind that means giving in to light, to purpose, to the voice you've ignored for too long. That small inner whisper that kept saying, "Don't skip this. This message is yours." That was me, beloved. That was the sound of truth trying to protect you from spiritual delay. And now here we are on the edge of eternity. Your name just moments from being sealed. But I must ask again as the last angel places their hand upon the page. Will you allow it? My child, my beloved, you've been taught that miracles happen in loud, dramatic moments. But that's not always true. Some of the greatest miracles come quietly disguised as decisions, like choosing to stay, choosing to open the message, choosing to believe in something bigger than your pain. That's what you've done by reading this far. And because of that, the spiritual transaction has already begun. A wind has been stirred around your name. A shift has been triggered that will begin to reveal itself within hours, then days. The signs will be undeniable. You'll begin to see confirmations in the smallest places. Numbers, names, phrases, unexpected peace. That's the signature of heaven. That's how you'll know the message was real and you did not miss your moment. You answered the divine call, my child, my beloved. The warfare is lifting now. You'll feel it soon. Like pressure releasing from your chest, like fog rolling away from the mountains of your mind. That's what happens when your name is written in the presence of fire. When Archangel Michael stands guard and says, "This one is marked for glory." No weapon formed against you will prosper, not because you're untouchable, but because you're protected. You have been assigned a shield not made by human hands. And though others may mock what they cannot understand, the blessing that's coming will be undeniable. You will not have to prove yourself. The results will speak for you. The elevation will announce you. The light will distinguish you. All because you stayed with the message when it mattered most. My child, my beloved, I want to tell you something sacred now. Something few have been permitted to hear. The Book of Heaven does not just record names. It records legacy. And your name is now attached to something eternal. A ripple effect has begun that will touch generations to come because you chose to stay. You chose to open. You chose to receive. You have done what many refuse to do. You paused long enough to let heaven finish speaking. And because of that, there is nothing more you need to do tonight except rest. Yes, rest. The kind that only comes when the war is over and your name is safe. You'll feel it in your sleep, like someone watching over you, like peace warming your bones, like a presence too deep to explain. That is me. That is heaven keeping watch. My child, my beloved, before I go, I must leave you with this. Your name is now sealed. The book has been closed with fire. And what is written cannot be undone, not by people, not by demons, not even by your own doubt. You are locked into a new timeline of favor, a new order of blessing, a divine rerouting that will begin showing up in your dreams, in your connections, in your divine appointments. Stay expectant. Stay humble. Stay faithful. The things you thought were too broken to restore will begin healing without effort. The doors you assumed were permanently closed will crack open again. But this time, you won't have to push. You'll just have to walk through. And the people who overlooked you, they'll wonder how you rose so quickly. They won't know that it all started right here in this holy moment with a message you chose not to skip. My child, my beloved, if you do nothing else today, just whisper thank you. Not to me, but to the God who still believes in your name, who still calls you chosen, who still opens books with your legacy inside. Your enemies thought your name would be forgotten, but heaven wrote it in gold. Your fears told you this message was too late. But God said, it's right on time. And you, beloved, you listened, you received, you believed, and now everything changes. My child, my beloved, the sealing is done. The fire has kissed the page. The name you carry is now embedded into the divine record of this season, never to be erased. Even the winds that try to scatter your progress will be confused because the coordinates of your next miracle have already been written and they point directly to you. Nothing can block it now. Not the delay, not the lies they told about you, not the failures you've repented for, not even the disbelief that crept into your heart when you were tired. Because heaven is not waiting for perfect faith, but honest surrender. And you, beloved, have surrendered. You have returned. You have said yes in the quiet when no one else clapped, when no one else believed. That is the kind of yes that shakes mountains. That is the kind of yes that heaven honors. My child, my beloved, I must tell you this before I close this message. The light that is coming for you will surprise even you. It will not come in the form you expect. It will not knock politely. It will crash through the last door that fear built and take its place in your life like it always belonged there. It will enter quietly but rearrange everything. You'll begin to feel joy in places that have been numb for years. People will say you're glowing and they won't understand that it's not makeup or mood. It's mantle. It's the evidence of heaven marking someone for purpose. And you, beloved, are now walking in that evidence. The weight you carried will suddenly lift. The confusion that clouded your choices will dissolve. You'll begin to dream again. Not small dreams, but dreams so big they make your knees shake. That's when you'll know it's real. My child, my beloved, when people ask you how it happened, how things turned around, how your life suddenly began to bloom, tell them nothing. Let the silence speak for itself. Because what heaven is doing in your life was not meant to be explained. It was meant to be witnessed. Those who watched you break will now watch you bloom. But do not be distracted. Some will try to return only because they see the oil on you. Some will come close to siphon the favor. Be wise. Be still. Keep your ears tuned to the voice that brought you here. Archangel Michael will continue walking beside you. His sword will remain drawn. And should darkness ever try to approach you again, they will tremble when they see the seal on your name. The seal that was placed tonight. The one you almost missed. The one you said yes to by staying till the end. My child, my beloved, the angels are rejoicing. There is singing now, a sound so ancient, so holy that only those who complete the divine instruction get to hear it. That sound is rising because of you. You have done what most will never do. You honored the moment. You gave God your full attention. You stayed when it would have been easier to scroll, to quit, to skip. And because of that, you have walked into divine territory. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again. When you wake tomorrow, something will feel different. Not because the world changed, but because your name is now echoing through dimensions that can no longer ignore your presence. My child, my beloved, heaven has placed something in your hands tonight. You may not feel it yet, but it's there. A key, an instruction, an invisible scroll tied to the next chapter of your life. Guard it. Don't share everything too quickly. Some things are meant to unfold in private before they are revealed in public. Let the anointing build in silence. Let the light grow in secret. And when it is time, you won't need to open the door. It will open itself. My child, my beloved, if no one has ever told you this, let it be said now. You are the chosen one. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not average. You are heaven's response to a generation starving for truth. And your name has been written in the place where time cannot erase it. This message was heaven's final call for this season. And you answered. And now it is finished. My child, my beloved, this is no longer just about your name. It is about your calling. What has been written in the book tonight is not only a name, but a mission. You were not sent to this earth to blend in. You were not created to merely survive. You were born with a divine thread inside your soul that connects directly to the heart of God. That thread was tugged tonight, and when it moved, heaven responded with thunder. A spiritual decree was released in the angelic realm. Make way for the one who remembered. And you did remember, didn't you? Even through the pain, even through the confusion, even in the moments when your faith felt like a flicker, you still whispered, God, if you're real, show me. And tonight, this message is that answer. This fire you feel in your chest is that confirmation. It was never your imagination. You were being watched, weighed, and whispered over by heaven itself. And now, beloved, a holy shift has begun. My child, my beloved, the spiritual system is already in motion. The order has been processed. The angels have been dispatched. The delay has been canceled. The name has been authorized. You are the one whose heart was crushed but not consumed. The one who forgave when no one asked. The one who stayed soft in a world that tried to harden you. That is the kind of spirit heaven trusts with legacy. And legacy is exactly what you're stepping into, not temporary blessings, not momentary applause, but legacy. Inheritance that speaks when you are silent. Power that moves even when you sleep. This is the kind of destiny shift that writes itself across generations. And it started because you chose to honor the message. You didn't scroll past. You stayed. You felt it. You received it. And because of that, God has written yes beside your name in a way that no demon, no human, no mistake will ever erase. My child, my beloved, you may feel like nothing changed around you yet, but in the spirit, you are unrecognizable to the darkness that once targeted you. The old attacks will no longer land. The old triggers will no longer work. The old patterns will no longer hold power. You've stepped into a new identity, not because of a title, but because of truth. And the truth is you're marked. You're seen. You are heaven's echo in a broken world. What you do next will matter more than you know. Walk forward, but walk with wisdom. Speak, but speak with weight. Choose, but choose from the spirit, not from fear. There is a glow on you now that can't be undone. And those who once ignored you will begin to ask where the light is coming from. Do not brag. Do not explain. Just smile and know it came from this message. From this moment, from this holy fire that wrote your name in the book when you almost gave up. My child, my beloved, I know there's still a part of you that wonders, what if I fail again? What if I forget? What if I fall? Let me speak directly to that part. Your failure will never be final if you remain connected to the one who called you. You were never meant to carry this journey alone. That's why Archangel Michael walks beside you now. That's why signs will follow your name. That's why dreams will begin to speak louder. You won't have to guess anymore. Heaven is done whispering. Now it will begin to shout through confirmations, through alignment, through supernatural favor. And when it comes, you'll smile. Not because of pride, but because you'll remember this moment, this quiet screen, this sacred message, this final call that you answered. My child, my beloved, let me tell you the truth. Most people never hear it. The favor that is coming to your life is not fair. It's divine. It's holy. It's prophetic. It will not be understood by those who measure life by effort alone. Because the level of miracles about to flow into your story is not based on effort. It's based on election. And heaven elected you. Not because you were loud, but because you were faithful. When others gave up, you endured. When others mocked, you kept hoping. When others ran, you stood still. And now the scroll is sealed. And your name is part of a new chapter that begins tonight. A chapter where you no longer beg for clarity. It finds you. Where you no longer chase love, it recognizes you. Where you no longer fear time running out because heaven is now your clock. My child, my beloved, breathe deeply now. This is the final seal, the moment of rest. You've read what was meant only for you. No one else can feel what you felt while reading it because your spirit was being rewritten while your eyes moved across these words. The pain was being healed. The chains were being unlocked. The door was being opened. And you didn't even realize it because heaven works like that. Quiet, gentle, but final. And now, as Archangel Michael steps back, sword still glowing, he leaves this final word in the air around your life. Watch. Just watch. Watch what happens when a name is written by God's own hand. Watch what shifts when a heart says yes with nothing but faith. Watch what forms when someone dares to believe that this message wasn't just text. It was the voice of heaven dressed in human words. And you, my child, you believed. My child, my beloved, even as this message draws toward its closing edge, I must tell you this secret that many never hear in their lifetime. The silence you once mistook for abandonment was actually heaven's way of building volume inside your soul. You were not forgotten, not for a single breath. In fact, your name was repeated more times in heaven during your quietest nights than you could ever imagine. God didn't leave you behind. He held you back, so He could bring you forward in a way that would silence the mouths of those who laughed. Every delay was a disguise for protection. Every closed door was God's hand refusing to let you walk into a room that would have crushed you. Now, beloved, those delays have been lifted. The doors are opening, not slowly, but wide and immediately. And the angels have already taken flight. What comes next will be undeniable. You'll start to hear your own name in places that once ignored you. You'll walk into rooms that seemed too big for your past, but just right for your destiny. And that, beloved, is the reward of staying. That is what happens when a soul says, "Yes, I will not skip the message. Yes, I will remain until the fire finishes writing." My child, my beloved, the future you feared was never your future at all. It was a false image painted by disappointment, dressed up in delay, and whispered into your mind by shadows that saw your potential before you did. But tonight that future has collapsed. Heaven has overwritten it with something new, something brighter, something sealed. The version of your life that was stolen is being restored. The version of your calling that was sabotaged is being rebuilt. You thought the best had passed. But I tell you now with divine authority, your best has just been breathed into existence. What's coming to you will arrive in a way that no one will be able to take credit for. No person, no system, no accident. It will be so divine, so undeniable that even your enemies will bow in silence, unable to explain how you survived what should have destroyed you. My child, my beloved, I must urge you, do not tell everyone what has happened here. This message was made only for you. The moment you try to explain it to someone who wasn't anointed to understand it, they may look at you with blank eyes and cold hearts. Guard this fire. Cover it in silence. Speak only when the Spirit moves you. Because what heaven releases in secret should never be exposed to prideful eyes too soon. Let your miracle rise before it is named. Let your breakthrough form before you announce it. There will be a time to speak, and when that time comes, your voice will be drenched in glory. Until then, stay hidden. Stay low. Stay in awe of what has just been written about you. Because while this message may end in words, the real story is only beginning now. My child, my beloved, I leave you with this final truth. Your name has been planted in heaven's soil. And where God plants, God protects. It will grow. It will bloom. It will bless. And it will not fail. Even if storms come, even if winds scream, even if people turn cold, Your name will not be erased. Not now, not ever. Because you chose to open. You chose to believe. You chose to stay. That choice has become your covenant. And this covenant cannot be undone. Not by failure, not by time, not even by your moments of doubt. Because what God has sealed, no force can unseal. And your name, beloved, is sealed.